All right, so let's get out our basal readers and our notes that we took yesterday. I see you guys already got it out. Perfect. Let's go over a little review of what we did yesterday. So we read the Rosa Parks story and we were taking notes. And so what we have planned for today is we're going to talk about graphic organizers. We're going to talk about some of the notes, and you guys are going to participate and talk with each other about some of the key points that you had in the story. And then we're going to work on creating a graphic organizer. So since we've done these first two, let's check them off. Oh, is it my Ellen?
I'm talking pretty well. It's okay.
Since teacher voice. Yeah. Since we did the first two, we're going to mark them off, and we're going to talk about graphic organizers. So I know you guys have probably heard of graphic organizers before. Maybe you've done them before. I just want you guys to share with what you know about graphic organizers, or maybe something that you don't know.
They organize.
What do you guys? I know you guys have done them in your other class with Mrs. Smith, in your general education classroom. What did you guys learn?
They're organizers.
Perfect. That's the word I like to use. Whenever I think of graphic organizers, I like to think of organizing your thoughts. And so there's all different types of graphic organizers. This is just one type. And so they all look different, but they all have the same purpose, and that is to organize your thoughts. And you might ask, like, why do we need to organize our thoughts? Because some students, when they read, they have a hard time comprehending, and they're not organizing their thoughts, and so they can't summarize. And so that's going to be our end goal today and for the rest of the year, is to learn how to summarize the things that we read. Okay, so now that we kind of have a little bit on the graphic organizers, let's you guys can share some of the key points that you guys had for the story that we read yesterday. What are some of those notes that you had? I'll just jot them down.
Rosa Parks was born in 1913.
Perfect. Born in that's a long time ago, over 100 years ago. What do you have, Nicole? What are some of the notes you have? It looks like you got some good notes.
She graduated from high school after dropping out to help her sick grandmother.
Perfect. Graduated high school. So she was probably a pretty smart person, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Very smart woman. All right. What else you got, Britt?
In 1955, she refuses to give up her seat.
1955? Mm-hmm. So I know the story talked about it. So what happened? What happened, Britt, when she didn't give up her seat?
She got yelled at to give up her seat again, and she didn't, so they arrested her.
Right.
And they beat her.
Why did they arrest her? We can sit, when we ride buses, we can sit wherever we want. Why did they arrest her, though?
Because she's black.
Because she's black, right? A long time ago, there's these like kind of, there's laws, and there's also these unspoken rules on what black people can and can't do. And one of those was that they have to ride in the back of the bus. And so in 1955, she said she wasn't going to give up to her seat to a white man, and so she was arrested. Do you guys have any other notes?
She became secretary for the Montgomery NAC.
Yep. Let's see what you got. Which one are you looking at?
The NAC.
Yep, the NAACP. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit. We'll talk about a little more right now. So NAACP stands for National Association of the Advancement of Colored People. And so what that was a group of black people that came together, and they wanted to work together to make there's more rights for black people. Because like we said, you know, they couldn't go to restaurants that white people went to. They couldn't go in the same bathrooms that white people went to. They couldn't go to the same schools that white people went to. And so what this group was, the NAACP, was a group of black people that worked together to help give black people those rights. So this is a good list. I like these. These are 4 things that we have that are important in her life. And if you guys can remember in the story, it was kind of chronological. And chronological means that one thing happens, and then this thing happens, and then this happens, and then lastly this happens. And so we can order this chronologically from first to last, and that's what we're going to do. So this is the graphic organizer that's going to help us order things. And so from looking at these notes, which one came first in her life?
When she was born.
Right? You can't, there's nothing before when you're born. So you guys can see that on your chain of events that you guys have in front of you, you guys can write a 1 on the top box, because that's the thing that happens first in her life. So right here we're going to write born in 1913. We know we're talking about Rosa Parks. These are just notes that we're going to use for when we create our summary later. Perfect. And then what I like to do, since drawing helps people remember things, I'm going to draw, you can draw like a hospital, whatever helps you remember Rosa being born. You could draw a little baby, you can draw anything you want. It doesn't have to be super pretty, but if you're a good drawer, definitely put some effort into it. So I'm drawing a little baby. Little Rosa Parks baby. There's little Rosa. Okay, so we have that one. So that one's done. What happens next on those notes that you guys shared with the class? So she graduated high school, 1955. That's like 45 or like 40 years later. And then Secretary NAACP. This was around this was 1943. Okay. Which one comes next?
She graduated high school?
Right, graduated high school. I believe she was 20 years old when she graduated high school. So we're gonna write graduated high school. And then you can look up here for spelling if you're having a hard time spelling. And so why did we put this on the second spot, Britt?
Because that's what happened next.
Right, next in her life. Perfect. Awesome. So we can